There are 4 people in Dai Xing'er's team, all of whom are women. 2 of them have blue skin, blue eyes, and 4 feet that are like water plants, extremely soft. This is a very obvious feature. They belong to the Water God clan. The appearance of the 2 is almost exactly the same, even the aura is very close. Introduced by Dai Xing'er, the 2 are called Shui Luoyu and Shui Luoi, and they are twin sisters. Shui Luoyu is the elder sister, and Shui Luoi is the younger sister. The water gods are good at the law of the water system, but these 2 people also exude a faint breath of the law of the earth. Like Dai Xing'er, she practiced 2 kinds of laws. The other person's whole body was light yellow, just like the yellow of earth and rocks, but like a piece of yellow jade, a little crystal clear. The breath of the law of the earth is very clear on her body, the 9th rank of the God King. The law of the earth is almost perfect, the breath is rolling out, with a full sense of oppression. Lin Moyu judged that this person is the strongest in the team. Just this race. Lin Moyu couldn't recognize it for a while, and he felt his lack of knowledge again. After being introduced by Dai Xing'er, Lin Moyu found out that this woman's name is Xuanyu, and she is a member of the Xing'er tribe. Hearing about the Xing'er tribe, Lin Moyu couldn't help raising his eyebrows. The Xing'er tribe is a very mysterious race, and their people rarely move in the big world. There are many practitioners who may not see Xing'er people in their entire life. Didn't expect to see you here. For Lin Moyu's arrival, neither Shui Luoyu nor Xuanyu had any objections. Obviously the relationship between the 4 is very good, and they also know the relationship between the butterfly clan and the human race. Although their own race has no intersection with the human race, but because of Dai Xing'er's relationship, they are also polite to Lin Moyu. Dai Xing'er made an introduction, and it was Lin Moyu's turn. Lin Moyu sat down generously. Human race, Lin Moyu. He didn't practice any etiquette. Every race has different habits. The etiquette of the human race may be an insult to a certain race. There are a lot of people here, and Lin Moyu doesn't have room to keep his voice down. As soon as the words Lin Moyu came out, the surroundings suddenly fell silent. The pair of beautiful butterfly wings on the back of Dai Xing'er unconsciously shook a few times, staring at her starry eyes. Are you Lin Moyu? Lin Moyu nodded strangely. What's wrong with his name? Even if he is famous, he is only a little famous in the true God realm. In the eyes of the vast majority of God King realm powerhouses, the true God realm is just a little guy, who can't be seen at all. Dai Xing'er whispered, do you know that you are very famous? Lin Moyu looked at the strange gazes cast by nearly 100 strong men around him, and asked unconsciously, I would like to hear more about it. Dai Xing'er said, we have a person from the Gemini family here, and you also know the characteristics of the Gemini family. Twins will never be separated from each other throughout their lives. Lin Moyu nodded. He naturally knew the Gemini family. The Gemini family is a very special race and has already given birth to children. Every Gemini tribe will be divided into 2 when they are born, and both are the ontology. The 2 ontologies can be integrated with each other or separated. Not only the body, but also the soul. And no matter how far apart the 2 bodies are, whether there is a barrier or not, they can communicate with each other. Because they originally had only one soul, even if they were restrained by formations, it would be difficult to isolate them. Hearing what Dai Xing'er meant, it was the Gemini tribe who brought in his news. Dai Xing'er continued to explain, in the lowest desert, we are cut off from the outside world. Even the avatars of the demon clan can't get in touch with the main body. Only the Gemini family can bring in news from the outside world, and he often talks about things from the outside world. You are now at the top of the must-kill list of the demon clan, higher than some old god kings. The demon clan has offered you a big reward. As long as you kill you can get a magic weapon of the godly state. Lin Moyu was a little surprised. The value of the magic weapon of the god realm is very high, and the demons value themselves so much. He half joked, I didn't expect my life to be quite valuable. His eyes swept all around, meeting the eyes of all the god kings. Some people have normal eyesight and are fine. Several of them had murderous intent in their eyes. Like the 9th rank of the God King of the Golden Eagle clan before, he wanted to kill himself, but now he wants to kill himself even more. Dai Xing'er also noticed this, and couldn't help lowering her voice. Don't worry, they dare not do anything here. Lin Moyu asked, what are the rules here? Dai Xing'er said, here is managed by Seo Mingwang Bodhisattva. He has set the rules. No one is allowed to use force in the oasis, otherwise they will be punished. Little Mingwang Bodhisattva, a fellow of the Buddhist clan. Lin Moyu thought in his heart. Bodhisattva is the title of the realm of the Buddha, but it is actually the king of gods. Among the Buddhists, the realm is divided into Arhat, Bodhisattva, and Buddha. Among them, the Arhat is the true god, the Bodhisattva is the god king, and the Buddha is the god. He even killed a Buddha himself. Lin Moyu felt a little strange. How could the Buddhists come here and set the rules? Puzzled in his heart, he asked, "What is the realm of Sio Ming Wang Bodhisattva?" Dai Xing'er said, "Little Buddha, that is, the realm of the little god, is the most powerful here, so we can only listen to the rules he sets. The little deity is a special level between the 9th rank of the god king and the deity. The little god has completely controlled his own laws, reaching 100%. The only difference is that the law wraps the soul and jumps into the galaxy of laws. Once this step is completed, it is the real God. At that time, you can roam the galaxy of laws, mobilize the power of the galaxy of laws, and use your hands and feet with infinite power. The little god can't mobilize the power of the law galaxy, but with 100% control of the law, he can already beat a group of god kings to the 9th rank. If you want to defeat a small god, at least 10 god kings of the 9th rank must fight at the same time. But it is only a victory, and it is impossible to kill. If the little god wanted to leave, Kanda couldn't stop him. If you encounter a stronger little god, a dozen or so god kings of the 9th rank are not enough. As for geniuses, no one is a genius. Those who can reach this step are indeed worse than anyone else. Lin Moyu is afraid of the Buddhas in his heart. From the bottom of his heart, he doesn't like the Buddhas. Besides, he just borrowed here, and he didn't want to have any intersection with the people of the Buddha clan, nor did he want to have any intersection with the people in this 597. There are already 5 or 6 pairs of eyes around him that have become fierce, containing killing intent. They seem to be thinking about whether they should do it now and kill themselves as hard as possible. At the same time, he was also thinking about whether he could kill himself at the fastest speed. Dai Xing'er was a little worried. "Lin Moyu, they want to kill you, or you should leave now." Lin Moyu smiled. "I still have something to do, so I can't leave for now. I just arrived here, can you tell me something about the deep area?" Dai Xing'er nodded, and said something she knew. What she said is actually something that everyone knows, and there is no secret at all. Lin Moyu listened carefully and remembered it firmly. After Dai Xing'er finished speaking, her beautiful eyes turned. "If you don't leave, then you can stay with us. With us here, they dare not act rashly." Lin Moyu shook his head. "No, they can't kill me, but it's not a problem to be remembered all the time." As he spoke, he slowly got up and said in a low voice, "I'll leave first." Dai Xing'er wants to stop Lin Moyu. The relationship between the Dai family and the human race is very good. Dai Xing'er does not want Lin Moyu to be killed. Lin Moyu spoke first. "Miss Xing'er, don't worry." He stopped Dai Xing'er with his eyes, and walked towards the distance as he spoke, at a very fast speed, and left the oasis in a blink of an eye. Dai Xing'er instinctively got up and wanted to chase, but Xuan Yu grabbed her clothes. Xuan Yu shook her head towards Dai Xing'er, signaling her not to move. At this time, several people had already stood up, looking at the direction in which Lin Moyu was leaving. 10 seconds later, 6 people left the oasis and chased after Lin Moyu. Dai Xing'er spoke softly, with a little worry. They chased after them. Xuan Yu said in a low voice, "I know that the Butterfly clan and the Human clan have a very good relationship, but you can't help us with this matter today. With our strength, it is very difficult to save him. Moreover, he has been targeted, and the people who are watching him are the Golden Eagles. You also know that once you are targeted by the Golden Eagles, you will not be able to escape. Even if we can save him once, we won't be able to save him a second time. Everyone knows how fast the Golden Eagle clan is. Not to mention the outside world, even here, the Golden Eagle clan still maintains this advantage. Once caught by them, it is basically impossible to jump." Dai Xing'er naturally understands this truth, but because of the relationship between the two clans and her own personality, worries are unavoidable. But she also knew that what Xuan Yu said was right. They could save them once or twice, but they couldn't save them 3 or 4 times. At this moment, Shui Luoyu said, "I think he will be fine." Shui Luoyu also said, "He's very confident, and he's not pretending. He's not afraid of those guys at all." Dai Xing'er's eyes lit up, revealing a hint of surprise. "Really?" The 2 sisters nodded at the same time and said in unison, "Really, he is not afraid." Shui Luoyu added, "Also, I feel that he doesn't take these guys seriously. The water gods use water as a medium, and their sensing ability is very powerful. They can feel changes in each other's emotions through changes in the blood flow of the human body. When Lin Moyu spoke before, he was too calm, the blood flow in his body was very calm. It gave them the feeling that Lin Moyu was telling the truth. Chuan Yu said, Xiao Xing'er, don't worry, since he said so, then trust him. Dai Xing'er nodded, feeling much better now. Lin Moyu left the oasis far away, and he walked very fast, looking like he was running away. But it's strange, he didn't stealthily erase his traces, instead he made a little publicity. When he walks, with a strong wind, the sand line is stirred up into the sky. The 6 people behind are hanging far away, they don't need to get close, as long as they follow the flying sand line, they won't get lost. But even if there is no sand line, the 6 people will not chase and lose, because among the 6 people, there is a werewolf. He has a wolf's head, a pair of small and sharp eyes, like knives, making it impossible to look directly at him. There are sharp claws on both hands and feet, and the sharp claws are comparable to the magic weapon of the God King, which can tear apart the enemy's defense. Wolves are good at attacking, but the defense is relatively weak. In addition, they also have a special ability, which can leave a hunting mark on the target. The predator mark is silent, and the target will not have any induction. Even if separated by hundreds of millions of miles, wolves can also be tracked by hunting marks. Coupled with the fact that there are the fastest golden eagles around, Lin Moyu has nowhere to escape. Among the 6 people, apart from 1 member from the Wolf clan and 1 from the Golden Eagle clan, there is also 1 from the Black Iron clan. In addition, it is the 3 silver clans composed of silver dogs, silver snakes, and silver eagles. The whole body of the Golden Eagle clan exudes a faint golden light, and the pair of sharp eyes are even more golden, like 2 stars twinkling. In his eyes, Lin Moyu under the sand line is clearly visible. The Golden Eagles were not in a hurry to catch up. He was not worried that Lin Moyu would escape, but said softly, let's discuss how to distribute the benefits. A member of the Black Iron clan who was traveling with him laughed, God Black, I didn't expect to meet Lin Moyu here. It's a pity that there is only 1 magic weapon given by the Demon clan, and it is difficult for us to share it equally. The Wolf clansman said, 1 magic weapon of the godly realm is worth 10 magic weapons of the highest grade of the godly king realm. If anyone wants a magic weapon of the godly realm, they can use other magic weapons to pay for it. His idea was good and got everyone's approval. After all, I don't know what kind of magic weapon the Demon clan will give, and it may not be suitable for me. Several people discussed for a while, and made vows to the Great World one after another. With the constraints of the Great World Oath, the state of several people who seem to be in harmony with each other is a little better. Although they chased and killed Lin Moyu together, they were guarded against each other and vigilant against each other. If they are not of the same race, no one will trust the other. Sometimes, even the same race can't be too trusting. After Lin Moyu left the oasis for more than 1,000,000 kilometers, he had truly left the forbidden range set by Xiao Mingwang Bodhisattva. The Golden Eagles couldn't bear it first. I'll go ahead and stop him, you follow. After finishing speaking, without waiting for everyone to answer, the Golden Eagle clansmen shook their wings on their backs, turned into a golden light, and shot straight at Lin Moyu. The speed of the Golden Eagle tribe is very fast. If it were not for the limitation in the lowest desert, his speed would have exceeded 100,000 kilometers per second. He approached Lin Moyu at a speed of 10,000 kilometers per second and quickly caught up. Suddenly, he found Lin Moyu in the yellow sand, looking at him with a smile in his eyes. It felt like he was waiting for his arrival. There was a strange feeling in my heart. He stopped in front of Lin Moyu, keeping a distance of 1,000 meters from Lin Moyu. For them, this distance was no different from face to face. His eyes were cold. You didn't run away. Lin Moyu smiled slightly. Why did you run away? A pair of sharp eyes of the Golden Eagle tribe stared at Lin Moyu closely. Lin Moyu's attitude made him feel strange. Lin Moyu was too calm and seemed not afraid at all. Any 9th level God King would not be afraid of chasing and killing 6 powerful men of the same realm. He suppressed a little uneasiness in his heart. You are very confident in yourself. Lin Moyu looked at him, and the few people who were rushing up behind him. I'm a little curious. The demon race has pulled me to the top of the must-kill list. Have they released more information about me? The Golden Eagle tribe was stunned for a moment. He didn't understand the meaning of Lin Moyu's words. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, and continued, it seems that there is no. So to change the question, why do you think the demons want to offer me a reward for a magic weapon of the divine state? If I remember correctly, the first place in the must-kill list before, the Demon Clan only offered a reward for 3 top-grade magic weapons of the God King realm. A magic weapon of the Divine State is worth thousands of top-grade magic weapons of the Divine King. It is also the first place in the must-kill list, and the difference between the front and rear rewards, Zhao's, is more than 3 times, and there must be a reason for it. Only then did the Golden Eagles realize that they hadn't considered this at all. They also don't know Lin Moyu's specific strength or other information. The uneasiness in my heart is getting stronger and stronger. But the companions who had already arrived made him feel a little more at ease. Unless Lin Moyu reaches the realm of the little god Venerable, he will undoubtedly die today. But even if it is a small god, if you can't beat it by yourself, you can still escape. As long as you escape back to the oasis, there is Xiao Mingwang Bodhisattva sitting there, so you don't have to be afraid of Lin Moyu. The big deal is to leave the Loess Desert and leave the Suzaku battlefield to study. The big world is so vast, it may not be seen in the future. At this moment, the Golden Eagles thought a lot. Lin Moyu's voice came again. You guys are indeed a little smarter than the stone demon, but your smartness is limited. There is a saying in our human race, man dies for wealth, and bird dies for food. Welcome to take your seat. The Wolf Clan, the Black Iron Clan, and the 3 Silver Clans finally arrived. They crossed over where the Golden Eagles were, and stood in different directions, forming an encirclement circle, enclosing Lin Moyu. None of the 6 made a move first, but it was as if Lin Moyu was determined. The wolf's eyes were stern. You said we would die for money. You think too highly of yourself. Lin Moyu chuckled, and glanced around. 6, it's okay. At this moment, his aura began to increase crazily. From the real god realm, he rushed all the way up, broke through layers of restrictions, and rose all the way to the peak of the 9th rank of God King. In this regard, no one is surprised. They have long expected that Lin Moyu is hiding his strength, and the one who can get here is at least the 8th level God King, and most likely the 9th level God King. But the uneasiness in the hearts of the Golden Eagles is getting stronger and stronger. The wolves also raised their aura. He also has the strength of the 9th level God King, and he is also the best among the 9th level God Kings, not much worse than Lin Moyu. You finally don't hide your realm anymore. You humans like such meaningless things. The Black Iron Demon and the 3 Silver Clans all burst into their auras one after another, and one after another of strong coercion rushed straight into the sky, encircling the sky full of yellow sand. The members of the Golden Eagle tribe also released a strong coercion. The 6 coercions belonging to the 9th level of the God King firmly suppressed Lin Moyu. But 280 seconds later, the eyes of the 6 people changed drastically. Lin Moyu's aura rose to the 9th level of the God King, and after a pause of 2 seconds, it suddenly rose again. In an instant, he broke through the limit of the 9th level of God King, and entered a special level. Little God. There was a burst of swelling in the soul, a little painful, but not unbearable. After the real realm reaches the 9th level of the true God, the endurance of the soul is further enhanced. In addition to his own strength becoming stronger and his foundation becoming solid, the strength of the undead has also been improved. With the combination of the two, Lin Moyu finally broke through the limit of the 9th level of the God King, and temporarily raised his strength to the level of the little god. If it was before, as long as he raised his soul to the level of a small god, his soul would be shattered on the spot in a few seconds, and he could not use it for fighting at all. But now, his soul can be maintained in the state of the little god for a period of time, and if it can be replenished during this period, the maintenance time can be further extended. The Golden Eagle tribe finally knew the source of their anxiety. You are not the 9th rank of the God King, you are the little god. He uttered a strange cry, fear grew in his heart, and his first reaction was to run away. He is not the only one who has this kind of thinking, there are other Wuzheng as well. Now they have no intention of killing Lin Moyu, they just want to leave. But Lin Moyu won't give them a chance. With a little finger, the red light suddenly lit up. The 6 people suffered severe head pain at the same time, their souls were attacked, and their movements also stopped. Fusion spell, Curse of Time. Although Lin Moyu's soul enhancement has been improved, his technique is still at the 9th level of the true god, and has not been promoted accordingly. The 9th level magic of the true god, plus the 10 times the damage brought by strong soldier, can only make them feel the pain of the soul, and then delay it for half a second. Half a second is enough time for Lin Moyu to do many things. Undead flames appeared in the air, the skeleton throne flew out of the flames, and the skeleton king stood up from the throne. Endless skeletons appear densely, covering everyone almost instantly, surrounding them. Skeletons pose no threat to them, but they can delay, buying time for Lin Moyu. The soul fire in the Skeleton King's head throbbed violently, and a bloody red light burst out from his hollow eyes, firmly locked on the Golden Eagle clansman, and pinched the bone sword. Tell, kill God. The sword light lit up, and the members of the Golden Eagle tribe suddenly let out strange screams. At this time, the Skeleton King has reached the 9th level of the God King, and with the blessing of Strong Soldier, the damage is increased by 10 times, and it is faintly beyond the 9th level of the gods. Even if he didn't reach the level of a little god, he was still infinitely close to a little god. Slashing the god with a sword, the God King of the Golden Eagle clan couldn't bear it at all, and was seriously injured on the spot. The golden feathers were cut off in a row, his expression was sluggish, and the golden light was dim. He was horrified in his heart, and was about to shoot all the feathers, using the Golden Eagle clan's life-saving method, and then escaped. But the picture in front of me suddenly changed, the yellow sand disappeared, and the starry sky descended. For a moment, the world changed, and he seemed to be the king of the starry sky in the sky world. Illusion. He was horrified, how could he fall into the illusion, and when did the illusion appear? In the starry sky, a giant comparable to a star appeared. The giant raised his palm, carrying an aura that could destroy stars, and patted himself. The illusion was too real, even if he knew it was an illusion, it would not help. Even a God King can't keep calm in such an illusion. The Golden Eagle clansman screamed in terror, his feathers exploded, and he instantly turned into a vulture. He used life-saving spells, and after blasting his feathers, he turned into golden light and fled towards the depths of the starry sky. But the giant moved faster, the giant hand fell, and the sun slapped him back. The faces of the golden eagles are full of despair, and the vitality in their eyes is gradually dimming. The giant spewed flames and devoured it. The members of the Golden Eagle clan were caught in the sea of flames, screaming incessantly. In the real world, the golden eagles exploded their feathers and displayed amazing speed. But because of the restriction of the lowest desert, as soon as he got up to speed, he was abruptly stopped by the rules in the desert. It was as if he had hit an invisible wall and bounced back. Then the Flame Lich summoned the projection of the Law Galaxy, and endless flames poured on him, devouring it. The Golden Eagles died the fastest. He was severely injured by the Skeleton King, and then he used life-saving spells, causing his strength to become weak. Otherwise, relying solely on the Flame Lich, it would not be so easy to burn to death a strong person of the same realm. With a movement, Lin Moyu came to the half-dead Golden Eagle clan and swung his head with a sword. The sharp-boned sword wrapped the law of immortality, corroded the last law of the Golden Eagle clan, cut off its neck, and a hairless head with a sharp beak rose into the sky. The bright red blood with a slight golden brilliance spewed out, staining the yellow sand world. A wave of soul power was sucked in, part of it was transformed into a source of power to maintain the original spell, and the other part was purified and refined by the talent giant tree and the 9-colored dragon soul crystal. Lin Moyu put away the corpses of the Golden Eagle tribe, and added another material for the 9th rank of the King of Gods. Turning to look at the other 5 people, these 5 people are just material in Lin Moyu's eyes. The 5 of them are now also trapped in their own illusions, unable to extricate themselves. The illusion of the Star Lich can trap the powerhouse of the 9th rank of the King of Gods. If only one forest is trapped, it can be trapped for a long time. If there are too many, the duration of the illusion will be reduced accordingly. Now that 5 people are trapped at the same time, the illusion will not last longer than 5 minutes. 5 minutes is already a long time for the 9th rank of God King, enough for Lin Moyu to kill them many times. Skeleton King and Flame Lich, who also have the 9th level combat power of the God King, plus Lin Moyu himself, who has reached the level of the Little God Lord. With the cooperation of the 3, they massacred the 5 people who were in trouble. The oasis is still quiet, the yellow sand world flying in the air in the distance, and the oasis seemed to exist in 2 different spaces. Here, there is no fighting, just like a piece of pure land. No one in the room dared to violate the rules established by Seo Mingwang Bodhisattva with the prestige of a small god. At this moment they are discussing about Lin Moyu. No one thought that Lin Moyu would be able to come back alive. Under the pursuit of the 6 god kings of the 9th rank, marked by the Wolf clan, the Golden Eagle clan had the speed advantage, and Lin Moyu died out of 10. But most people don't care about Lin Moyu's life or death, they have nothing to do with themselves, Lin Moyu is just a talking point. Dai Xing'e had been comforted so much that she was not worried, but after listening to everyone's discussion, the worries in her heart inevitably arose again. As her good sisters, Xuanyu, Shui Luoyu, and Shui Luoyi tried to comfort her again, but the effect was mediocre. In fact, in the big world, life and death are too common. An existence like Dai Xing'e, who has cultivated to the 9th level of God King, has already seen through it. It can only be said that the nature of the butterfly clan is too kind. No matter how powerful they are, they cannot change their nature. In other words, butterfly is a bit of a Madonna. In the big world, the character of the virgin is a flaw that will bring disaster. The butterfly race has another advantage: their virgin is only for the human race. Once a plaything and a slave, he was finally rescued by the human race and became an ally of the human race. The Holy Mother of the butterfly people is only aimed at the human race. Xuanyu remained calm. Don't worry too much, he should have a way to escape. She has said this several times, to no avail. Dai Xing'e's eyes stayed in the direction where Lin Moyu was leaving, and suddenly her beautiful eyes shrank slightly. She saw a figure appearing from the end of her sight, stepping on the yellow sand, walking slowly but surely. He's back. Xuanyu immediately noticed Dai Xing'e's strangeness, followed her gaze, and saw Lin Moyu. Each has its own characteristics, and the one that can be recognized at a glance is the human race. The only human here is Lin Moyu. Dai Xing'e saw Lin Moyu. The worry in his eyes quickly faded. He nodded with a smile. He's really fine. Xuanyu's expression changed a little at this time. He's fine, but the guys who chased him didn't come back. Lin Moyu came back safely, but the people who chased and killed him failed to come back. The result is self-evident. The two sisters Shui Luoyu and Shui Luoyi said in unison, "It seems that he is very strong." Xuanyu said in a low voice, "It's really extraordinary to be ranked first in the demon clan's must-kill list." Lin Moyu approached quickly, and many people saw him. They all showed shock, and some of them looked weird and muttered to themselves, "He's fine, didn't those guys catch up with him?" A wise man showed vigilance in his eyes. "I must have caught up, there are signs of wolves, how could I not catch up?" He came back, but those guys didn't come back. Could it be that he killed them all? Golden Eagle Clan, Wolf Clan, Sanyan Clan, none of them are easy to mess with. I smell blood. There is the blood of the Golden Eagle Clan, and there is also the blood of the Wolf Clan. Everyone present realized what had happened. Although I can't believe it, I have to believe it. Several people who chased and killed Lin Moyu were all dead, trapped and killed by silent words. No matter who it is, they have to be vigilant against this kind of existence that can kill strong people in the same realm. Dai Xing'e originally wanted to go there, but Xuanyu held her back again and motioned her not to go. Because Lin Moyu has changed direction and is not coming towards the oasis. After Lin Moyu approached the oasis, he suddenly changed direction and headed towards the deep area. He returned to the oasis just to enter the number 9 area, and didn't think about going back to the oasis to rest. Killing a few god kings of the 9th rank is just a matter of effort. From a distance, he smiled slightly at Dai Xing'e, and then headed towards the number 9 area. There are 9 huge fireballs in the sky, which have been burning for countless years and are numbered by people. Among them, number 8 and number 9 fireballs are juxtaposed, and jointly radiate deep areas. After previous encounters, Lin Moyu can already guess that the area radiated by the number 8 fireball should belong to the area controlled by the demons. And Area 9 is an area where scattered people of different races are active, and it is Seo Mingguang Bodhisattva who manages these scattered people and unifies their existence. Little Mingguang Bodhisattva is a little Buddha, that is, a little deity in the yin world. With him in charge, the demon race would not dare to go too far. As for the Sand Tribe and Earth monsters, Lin Moyu has not seen him yet. He feels that these two races, Xian Yubiju, also occupy a place in the deep area. The strength of the two clans will not be too weak if they join forces, and there may be a small god standing in charge. Calculating in this way, there should also be small gods in the demon clan. The existence of little Ming Bodhisattva reminded Lin Moyu a lot. At the same time, the appearance of the Buddha also made Lin Moyu feel something was wrong. The Buddhist clan has never participated in inter-ethnic struggles, they only recruit believers, and people of any race can join the Buddhist clan. Once you join the Buddhist clan, you will be completely separated from your own race and become a member of the Buddhist clan. The Buddhists call this kind of behavior, inclusive of all rivers, and there is no distinction between teaching and learning. Buddhists sometimes talk about Buddhism in the big world and spread the Buddhist teachings. This move did attract many people to join the Buddhist clan. But because they claim not to participate in racial strife, there is no sign of the Buddhist clan on the battlefield. Then the appearance of the Buddha clan here is debatable. I remember that it was said in the materials that there is an altar of 10,000 Buddhas among the Buddhist clan, and the altar of 10,000 Buddhas is something similar to the Sea of Laws, in which you can comprehend various laws. Ask for flowers. So the Buddhists don't need to come here to understand the law. Furthermore, it's the little god Venerable who came, so what purpose does he have? There is no evidence, just based on intuition. Lin Moyu feels that the Buddhists must have a special purpose when they come here. Insufficient information is available to make further speculation. He has nothing to do with the Buddhist clan, but he has enemies. I once killed a Buddha with my own hands, and later the strong man of the human race also went to the Buddha clan to ask for an explanation for himself. The overwhelming strength of the human race caused the Buddhist clan to stop the preaching on Buddhism, and even close the land of the Starfield clan and cut off communication with the outside world. In this way, the enmity between himself and the Buddhist clan has been settled. As long as you don't mess with me, I won't care what you do. Lin Moyu thought in his heart. The number 9 fireball in the air suddenly shook, and the temperature began to rise sharply. He entered the junction of the deep zone and the middle zone, that is, the transition zone. Here, he can initially feel the temperature of the deep area. The temperature is getting higher and higher. There is no law, it is pure high temperature. This kind of high temperature seems to have exceeded the temperature in the blue Mars, which is an extremely abnormal high temperature, and low-level god kings will also be burned here. Lin Moyu ignored the heat and kept going. Soon, he felt like he had passed through an invisible membrane. The membrane resonates with itself, allowing itself in. He has obtained the key, so he is qualified to enter the deep area. Anyone without a key can only be blocked by an invisible membrane. Lin Moyu raised his mind to the extreme, and a skeleton appeared beside him. He used his naked eyes, soul, and undead vision, 3 different methods, to carefully observe the situation in the deep area. He knew that the first thing he had to face was a test that he had to go through after entering the deep area. At the same time, he had to be on guard, whether someone would sneak attack on him. Not just demons, but other races as well. The heart of defense is indispensable, and Lin Moyu never dares to take it lightly. The yellow sand roared, and a sandstorm suddenly fell, which quickly became intense and dense. The strong wind blew his clothes and his hair, obscuring his vision. This sandstorm came very suddenly, and within a blink of an eye, the naked eye could not see anything, not even my own fingers. The soul induction is also blocked by the sandstorm, which contains a strong law of the earth. Only undead sight still works. In the grey-white world, clusters of soul fires lit up. The area radiated by the number 8 fireball belongs to the territory of the demon clan. A stone demon with a height of 30 meters is sitting in the yellow sand. He is different from other stone demons. The bodies of other stone demons are pitch black, and the higher their cultivation level, the darker their bodies will be. The stone demon of the 9th rank of God King, his body is already normal. And his body is not only black, but also has a golden glow. Jin Hui is the stars in the big world, dotted on his body, setting him off like a god. Not only does he have Jin Hui on his body, but his name is Jin Hui. Jin Hui asked in a deep voice, "Any news?" Beside him, there is also a stone demon. The 20-meter-tall stone demon exudes the aura of a 9th-level god king, but it looks so petite in front of Jin Hui. No news. According to your instructions, we also set up traps in the oasis at the farthest point in Area 9, but we didn't find Lin Moyu. Jin Hui made a hoarse voice. Could it be that he didn't go there? They set up several traps. From 5, 6, and 7 middle-level areas to enter the deep-level area, there are 6 oases and 6 passages in total. One of the passages belongs to the Sand Clan and the Earth Monster, and they have no way to intervene. The other line had Seo Ming Wang Bodhisattva sitting in the town, and they also had no way to check it. The remaining 4 passages are all arranged. No matter where Lin Moyu enters from, they can teleport there in the first time and carry out interception and killing. In the eyes of many stone demons, this arrangement is already perfect. But Jin Hui knew that even though he was very smart, he was smarter than most stone demons. But his intelligence is only average. This arrangement is fine against ordinary people, but not necessarily feasible against Lin Moyu. Jin Hui said to himself, he should not be allowed to pass through the passages of the Sand Clan and the Earth Monster. These two races are very exclusive and difficult to discuss. On Seo Ming Wang Bodhisattva's side, there are many casual cultivators of various races, and many of them have enmity with the human race. If he walks through the passage over there, he might be hunted down by other races, and he may not be able to come in alive. Where did he go? After thinking for a long time, he didn't understand it, and said in a deep voice, "You guys continue to guard here and pay attention to the situation of the trap. I'll go find Seo Ming Wang Bodhisattva." Jin Hui decided to go to meet Seo Ming Wang Bodhisattva. In the sandstorm, a blossoming soul fire lit up. Unlike the previous two cross-area situations, the fireball in the sky did not drop the flame meteor. Perhaps it feels that people who can come here will no longer be afraid of the flame meteor. Through the vision of the undead, Lin Moyu clearly saw these soul fires. The fire of the soul is very powerful. It seems to exceed the 8th level of the God King, but it is not yet the level of the 9th level of the God King. The only problem is that the number of soul fires is astonishing. There are thousands of soul fires that appeared in the sandstorm. Each flower represents a monster. Thousands of soul fires are thousands of monsters. Each one is stronger than the 8th rank of the God King, infinitely close to the 9th rank of the God King. In addition, among the many soul fires, there is one soul fire that has officially reached the 9th level of the God King, and it should be the leader of these monsters. Crowd monsters. It's just that the number is a bit too much. Lin Moyu thought of the group monsters that are common in the small world. A group monster is a monster group composed of a leader and a group of younger brothers. But normally speaking, there are as few as 5 or 6 younger brothers under a leader, and as many as dozens. I've never seen one with thousands of them like this. After these monsters appeared, they quickly approached Lin Moyu. There was a buzzing sound in my ears, as if countless elytra were vibrating. The sandstorm was so violent that the undead could clearly see the fire of the soul and know the location of the monster, but they couldn't see the real appearance of the other party. The opponent is getting closer and closer, and has already surrounded himself. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and the rulers of the 5 legions appeared beside him. Along with the rulers of the 5 legions, there is also the legion of skeletal dragons. With Lin Moyu's promotion to the 9th rank of the true god, the skeleton dragon has reached the 4th rank of the God King after being blessed with the control technique. Although it is far inferior to the monsters in the sandstorm, the giant skeleton dragon can at least form a meat shield to block the opponent with its huge body. Lin Moyu wants to use the skeleton dragon to see clearly what kind of monster the opponent is, and then decide what kind of fighting method to adopt. He felt that with the number of monsters of this scale, if an ordinary 9th level God King enters, there is only one word of death. The giant bone dragon rushed out with a roar, colliding with the monster for the first time. Lin Moyu was connected to the skeleton dragon's vision, and at the moment when the two sides collided, he finally saw the other side's appearance clearly. Those were flying ants, huge flying ants. Each flying ant is more than 5 meters long, with sharp mouthparts, and 2 pairs of thin elytra on the back, vibrating violently. Their fighting power is very strong. They can easily bite off the bones of the giant skeleton dragon, and the ant feet are extremely sharp, breaking the skeleton into pieces almost at the moment of contact. What shocked Lin Moyu the most was that they could fly. It doesn't fly high, but it does fly. In the lowest desert, it was the first time I saw a monster that could fly. The airban rules here seem to be lenient to these flying ants, giving privileges. At this moment, the huge advantage of the skeleton dragon's size came into play. Although their bodies were torn apart, they did not die immediately. Let Lin Moyu have enough time to see the opponent's situation clearly. Lin Moyu manipulated the skeleton dragon and rushed towards the leader of the flying ants. Just as the skeleton dragon was about to hit it, it spewed out a mouthful of pale yellow gas. The gas merged into the yellow sand, and the yellow sand rolled back for a while, and every grain of yellow sand became the most terrifying weapon, tearing the skeleton dragon to pieces. It's really powerful. It is estimated that at least 5 god kings of the 9th rank will be able to break through here. Everyone has to experience such a scene when entering the deep zone for the first time. It is definitely impossible for a single person to break through. If many people join forces, there will be no problem. Lin Moyu already knew the specific situation of the monster, and had a countermeasure in mind. The bodies of these flying ants were yellow, blending with the sandstorm. Sandstorms have an effect on themselves, but not on flying ants. The best way is to break through as quickly as possible and leave the sandstorm. Perhaps other god kings did this. As long as they leave the sandstorm, although there are many flying ants, they are nothing. But Lin Moyu was too lazy to choose this way. All his previous operations were just to determine the identity of the other party and the rules. Flying ants carry a rich law of the earth, which brings them a strong defense. But they don't have any laws of fire. As long as there is no law of fire, it means that the law of fire can cause enough damage to them. Two liches appeared at the same time. The projection of the two law galaxies shone in the sandstorm. The star lich merged into the law galaxy, and the law galaxy sank and enveloped the leader of the flying ant. The leader of the flying ants was startled suddenly, and in the next second, all the flying ants flew in another direction, ignoring Lin Moyu. The illusion made the leader of the flying ants lose the ability to distinguish the enemy's location. In the illusion, the enemy is in another place. It summoned all its subordinates and flew towards another 10 places. Thousands of huge flying ants vibrated their elytra, followed the leader's orders with a buzzing sound, and surrounded the non-existent enemies. They form a huge encircling circle. Then the flame lich merged into the galaxy of laws, and countless flames wrote down. The flames poured down, and all the flying ants were ignited by the flames. The flying ants made a sharp cry, but they did not violate the leader's order, and were still attacking non-existent enemies there. Soon, the flying ants were burnt to death, and the death rate was extremely fast. The leader of the flying ants, who was not attacked, sensed the death of his subordinates. In the illusion, it felt that the enemy was too strong, and ordered its subordinates to strengthen their attacks. But in fact, more and more flying ants are dying. Just like pulling monsters to kill in groups in the small world instance, Lin Moyu started a similar operation again. It's just that the current corpse burst is different from before. Today's corpse burst can lock the target and is no longer limited by the burst range. The advantage is that it can precisely lock the target, and you can bomb whoever you want. The disadvantage is that the damage will be weakened by 1 point for each additional target. Each has its advantages and disadvantages, and it is difficult to distinguish which is good and which is bad. But in Lin Moyu's opinion, the current corpse burst is more useful. Although the damage will be weakened as the target increases, it is more adaptable to the complex situations in the big world. The flames were blazing, and under the attack of the flame lich, 1,000 flying ants were completely burned up in less than 5 minutes. The dead bodies of flying ants were sucked into the yellow sand and disappeared with the sandstorm. In a blink of an eye, only the flying leader was left. The leader of the flying ants is still in the illusion. In the illusion, his subordinates are still attacking powerful enemies that do not exist. The flame lich flew onto it, and all the flames began to pour towards it. The leader of the flying ants was bathed in fire, struggling crazily. It continuously spewed yellow sand, its sharp insect feet waved in the sandstorm, and its elytra whipped up a strong wind. But all the struggles were of no avail. The flame lich and the starlight lich cooperated with each other, obliterating its vitality. Soon, it was burned to ashes just like its own men. A crystal nucleus dropped from the corpse and was brought back by the flame lich. Lin Moyu took the crystal nucleus and continued to walk forward. The sandstorm gradually extinguished, became smaller and smaller, and finally disappeared. The deep area is indeed more dangerous than before. If there is no star lich, he would have to fight the flying ants. It is estimated that it will be a tough battle to use the original magic again. If they were replaced by other god kings, they could only break through as quickly as possible, otherwise they would be trapped to death in the sandstorm. Looking at the crystal nucleus in his hand, compared with the 8th level monster crystal nucleus of the King of Gods, the crystal nucleus in his hand is a circle larger, and the laws contained in it are more intense and pure. The law in the crystal nucleus is the law of the earth, very pure, without impurities. It should be said that this crystal nucleus is completely composed of laws. Lin Moyu felt it carefully, and felt that the laws contained in it were close to perfection. If you can use it to comprehend the law, the efficiency will be astonishing, not much worse than the sea of laws of the human race. It's a pity that the crystal nuclei in the lowest desert can only be used in the lowest desert and cannot be taken outside. Even the crystal nuclei obtained in the deep region cannot be brought to the middle region. The farthest is the oasis. As long as you leave the oasis, the crystal nucleus will lose its effect. This rule also restricts someone from bringing out the crystal nuclei in the deep area for use by the people in the outer layer. Weigh the crystal nucleus, and then put it away. The two most important laws in the lowest desert are the law of cause and the law of Wang Shifan. What the flying ant monster dropped was the crystal nucleus of the law of the earth, and it was very pure without any impurities. Then in the deep area, there should be a monster that can drop the crystal nucleus of the law of earth and stone. Before entering the deep area, even the crystal nucleus obtained from the giants of the earth is a fusion of two laws. The same is true for lower-level crystal nuclei, it is nothing more than which law dominates. And whether it is the outer layer or the middle layer, there are more than two types of monsters that will drop different crystal nuclei. From this, Lin Moyu can analyze that there should be another monster in the deep area, which will drop the crystal nucleus of the jade-like law. Further analysis, if my judgment is correct, will the two different crystal nuclei be related to summoning the boss monster in the deep area? Lin Moyu asked Dai Xing'er several people, but they didn't know either. Moreover, they have never seen the boss monsters in the deep area, and they have not even really entered the core of the deep area. These people in the oasis are only active near the entrance, and the farthest will not exceed 10 million kilometers from the entrance. Someone went in once, but never came out again. It is said that the interior of the deep area is very dangerous, and the 9th level of the God King will fall. Lin Moyu also felt strange when he heard this information. If it is said that the deeper you go, the greater the danger, he agrees, it is true. But if none of the God Kings who went in came back, he felt something was wrong. The God Kings here have all reached the 9th rank, which is the peak of the God Kings, and they act in groups. Even if there is danger, it is impossible for none of them to come back. Lin Moyu felt that even if they encountered the boss monsters in the deep area, if the God King 9th level wanted to escape, he could escape a few. Unless there are special circumstances. Suddenly, he raised his head and looked towards the sky. A huge ball of fire was burning in the sky. The fire was so dazzling that even layers of double images appeared in front of his eyes. Lin Moyu felt as if someone was watching him, and the target was coming from the fireball. And when I looked over, the other party's attention seemed to be diverted again, and I didn't find anything. Is it Xiao Ming Wang Bodhisattva? Lin Moyu thought in his heart. That gaze comes from a very far away place. If there is such an ability, I am afraid that only a small god can do it. The secret method of the Buddha clan, coupled with the realm of the little god, it is not surprising that he can watch himself from a long distance. Perhaps the little deity can know how to summon the boss monster. Give me a chance to ask. Lin Moyu put away the crystal nucleus and walked forward. He has a mission to come here. He wants to penetrate the lowest desert, pass through the deep area, and enter the nether swamp. Only in this way can Zhu Qingyang's 183 soul be brought back. Unless he feels that the task cannot be completed, he can choose to quit and return. That's what Zhu Qiwu told him at the time. As long as his life was safe, he would save as much as he could. After walking about 100 kilometers, the buzzing still sounded in my ears. Flying ants. Lin Moyu's heart trembled, the sand dune under his feet exploded, and a group of flying ants rushed out of the sand dune. Lin Moyu paused, turning into a streamer and appearing a square meter away. The dunes have been blasted to the ground, and Lin Moyu sees an ant nest. A large number of flying ants flew out of it, about 1,000 in number. They spread their elytra and vibrated constantly in the air. Each flying ant has 2 pairs of elytra. The last one was huge, with breath reaching the 9th rank of God King, and slowly flew out of the flying ant nest with 3 pairs of elytra. A 6-winged flying ant of the 9th rank of the God King, plus 1,004-winged flying ants of the 8th rank of the God King, formed a group monster. It is exactly the same as the group monsters seen in the sandstorm just after entering the deep area. It's just that there is no sandstorm now. If you encounter a team composed of a few God Kings of the 9th rank, you don't need to escape at all, and you can kill them all with a little time. There was a little surprise in Lin Moyu's eyes. When he was advancing, the vision of the undead was always shrouded. But he didn't see the soul fire before. Before flying ants emerge, they hide in the nest. Ant nests seem to have the ability to block the vision of the undead. This discovery made Lin Moyu vigilant. Lin Moyu thought of the sudden appearance of those soul fires in the sandstorm. In other words, before these flying ants act, their soul fire either does not exist, or is shielded by some substance. It now appears that this substance is an ant nest. Every group monster usually lives in the ant nest, which cannot be found by people. When someone passes by the ant nest will wake up all the flying ants inside and attack the enemy. This attack is fast and strong, making it hard to resist. The moment Lin Moyu was thinking, the flying ants were already heading towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu repeated the old plan, and still used the element Lich to fight against the enemy. The Star Lich confuses the Seraphim and makes the Seraphim give wrong orders. The structure of the group monster is like this: the leader's order is above everything else. Waiting until the four-winged flying ant dragon, the Flame Lich poured out the law flames and burned them to ashes. Finally, they were burned to death together with the Seraphim. This tactic has been verified in the Sandstorm, it works, and the efficiency is very good. Adding up the front and back, it only takes about 10 minutes to kill the group monsters. Lin Moyu believed that even a team like Dai Xing'er would not be able to kill such a team within an hour or two. 10 minutes later, Lin Moyu had another crystal nucleus purely composed of the law of the earth. He put away the crystal nucleus and moved on. The topography of the deep area is not much different from other areas, and they are all composed of yellow sand. Lin Moyu looked at the fireball in the sky and kept adjusting his direction. He didn't walk towards the deepest point immediately, but went to the area radiated by the number 8 fireball. He wants to kill the demons there first, and then find a way to the Nether Swamp. Now he doesn't even have a specific direction. He only knows that the Nether Swamp can only be found by going through the entire Loess Desert and going farther in the Baishenjin area. But how to get there? There is a way. The method is still the same as before: summon the boss monster, kill it to get the key. For now, everything is unknown. Dai Xing'er and the others didn't even know that there was such a place as the Nether Swamp. Perhaps the little Ming King Bodhisattva would know, but he didn't intend to ask. The little Ming King Bodhisattva had a peep before, and the other party seemed not very friendly. So after thinking about it, I finally decided to go to the area of the demons first, kill all the demons, and turn them into resurgents. Maybe you can get some information from it. The deep area is huge, coupled with the particularity of flying ant nests. No matter how careful Lin Moyu is, he will inevitably encounter some. Fighting with flying ants caused his speed to drop significantly. When he was thinking about killing the demon, Jin Hui was also heading towards the place where Xiao Mingwang Bodhisattva was. As the heir of Jinshi, his status is very special. Although it is only the 9th level of the God King, it has power beyond the 9th level of the God King. Maybe it's a little worse than the little God Venerable, but not too much. Coupled with Jinshi's status, Jin Hui's status is enough to keep pace with the little gods. He had dealt with Xiao Mingwang Bodhisattva before, and the relationship between the two was neither good nor bad. Like Lin Moyu, Jin Hui was also attacked by flying ants along the way. This is something that can't be helped, no matter who it is difficult to avoid encountering flying ants here. However, Jin Hui's handling method is simpler and more rude than Lin Moyu's. He didn't fight the flying ants, but hugged his body into a ball and turned into a stone ball. Afterwards, the whole body was shining with golden light, ignoring the attack of the flying ants, and advancing quickly. Flying ants will give up after chasing hundreds of thousands of kilometers and return to the ant nest. Lin Moyu didn't know about this feature, so he cleared the past along the way, and his speed was slower than Jin Hui's. 10 days later, Jin Hui came to a special area. The yellow sand here has turned golden, the fireball in the sky is no longer hot, and the temperature has become extremely comfortable. The earth seems to be full of vitality, and the sand is also very soft. In the sky, there are layers of Buddha lights shining down, and the bunches of clusters are very beautiful. In the beam of light, it seems to reflect a Buddhist kingdom, and countless believers pray and worship in the Buddha's light. There is a breath of Buddha everywhere here, and there is a magical power that makes people intoxicated. Jin Hui didn't seem to be interested in this Buddha, and even disliked it a little. But he didn't show any abnormality, but moved quickly towards the inside. But out of respect for the Buddha, Jin Hui still took his steps lightly, returned to his normal shape, and stopped rolling. Dragging a bulky body as high as 30 meters, but showing enough lightness, it is indeed a bit embarrassing for him. After walking for a long time, Jin Hui finally saw Xiao Mingwang Bodhisattva. About 100 meters above Xiao Mingwang Bodhisattva, there is a big sun. The great sun bloomed with golden light, and a beam of magnificent Buddha light fell, falling on the body of Xiao Mingwang Bodhisattva. Little Mingwang Bodhisattva sits in the Buddha's light, with a solemn treasure appearance. Not far from him is a lake. The lake is yellow in color, and the water in the lake has no wind and waves, constantly beating the shore of the lake. Every time you slap, excess lake water will fall on the shore, and the lake water will turn into yellow sand after falling on the shore, and then blown away with the wind. In this way, countless years, countless times, and endless beatings have brought endless yellow sand to the lowest desert. The lake that can turn into yellow sand is amazing, but King Xiaoming didn't stop his sight. He has seen this scene too much, and he is tired of watching it, because there is also one in the Devil's Stronghold. Not only that, there are several lakes like this in the deep area. Jin Hui stood a kilometer away from King Xiaoming, and lowered his voice as much as possible. Devils, Jin Hui, have seen King Xiaoming, tilde. The demon clan has always been arrogant, but they are not without restraint. At least when dealing with the Buddhist clan, he will restrain his temper. Especially in the face of being stronger than himself, he will become a little more polite. His voice came out, but Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva remained silent. On the hairless head, Buddha's light is reflected, as if wearing a golden crown. Jin Hui was not in a hurry, he knew that Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva had heard it. After more than 10 seconds, the Buddha light on Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva's body shook like water waves, and the phantom of Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva appeared in the air. The phantom was huge, much taller than Jin Hui, and looked down at Jin Hui. Shuiying opened his mouth, and a voice from the Buddha came out slowly. Amitabha, Lord of Jinwei, what is it? Jin Hui said, I want to ask the Bodhisattva if I have seen a human race. Nuo Hao Zhao. Little Ming Wang Bodhisattva did not hide. Lin Moyu. There was joy in Jin Hui's eyes. The Bodhisattva really knows everything. Can the Bodhisattva tell Jin Hui where Lin Moyu is going at this moment? He knew some secrets, and in Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva's territory, he couldn't hide some big and small things from him. This is the secret method of the Buddha family, and he only knows some superficial methods. The voice of Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva sounded again. Our Buddhist school pays attention to cause and effect. Where there is a cause, there must be an effect, and the effect begins with the cause, and the cause ends with the effect. Don't you just want benefits, shit karma? Jin Hui cursed secretly in his heart, but his expression disappeared, and he took out a magic weapon of the God King realm. The shape of the magic weapon is like a mirror. One can tell at a glance that it does not belong to the demon clan, and it is not known where it was snatched from. Using this treasure to bear cause and effect, the Bodhisattva will see if it is possible. As he spoke, the magic weapon of the mirror in his hand flew up automatically, and flew towards Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva. Little Ming Wang Bodhisattva shot out a beam of Buddha's light and landed on the magic treasure of the mirror. After a few breaths, a voice came out, ah. The magic weapon given by Jin Hui is not considered super high quality, but only a middle-level magic weapon in the God King realm. Its value is quite satisfactory, neither high nor low. After all, what he wanted was just a piece of news, a whereabouts, a word from Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva. It wasn't too difficult, so Jin Hui felt that a middle-grade magic weapon in the God King realm was enough. Sure enough, it was as he expected. Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva really agreed. Little Ming Wang Bodhisattva put away the magic weapon, and a beam of Buddha light shot out from the big sun above his head, shooting into the distance. He went in that direction. Jin Hui showed doubts on his face. The direction Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva pointed out was exactly the direction he came from. Then he saw an image appearing in the Buddha's light, in which was a picture of a human race moving forward. Jin Hui has never met Lin Moyu before, and this is the first time he has seen him, so he is Lin Moyu. Little Bright King Bodhisattva said, about 5 days ago, he just crossed the area controlled by this seat and entered your territory. At that time, you happened to enter the area under the control of this seat, and the two of you were separated by 1,000,000 kilometers, passing by. Jin Hui doubted Xiaoming Wang Bodhisattva's words, but was extremely shocked in his heart. He actually entered No. 8 area. What is he going to number 8 area for? Most of the number 8 area belongs to the 830 territory of the demon race. The demon clan occupied almost 2/3 of the area there, and the other third belonged to the sand clan and earth monsters. Jin Hui didn't think that Lin Moyu entered the number 8 area to find the sand clan and the earth monster to catch up with the past. Then there is only one possibility, he is going for the demon clan. However, as the strongest person here among the stone demon clan, he is not in his stronghold at the moment. Where does he have such courage? Jin Hui couldn't believe it, his eyes were full of shock. Even though he wasn't in the stronghold, there were a total of 3,000 God King 9th level stone demons there. Lin Moyu passed by alone, didn't he die? Although he thought so in his heart, for some reason, he just felt uneasy. Forcibly suppressing the uneasiness, Jin Hui continued to ask in a deep voice, does the Bodhisattva know where Lin Moyu went after entering the number 8 area? The phantom of Little Ming King Bodhisattva in the air glanced at Jin Hui. For some reason, Jin Hui felt that there was a trace of teasing in Little Ming King Bodhisattva's eyes. Don't you already have the answer in your heart? As soon as these words came out, there was a sudden shock. He immediately nodded to Seo Ming Wang Bodhisattva. Thank you, Bodhisattva. After speaking, he turned and left without turning his head. After leaving this special land, he curled up again and rolled towards Area 8. He holds a special magic stone in his hand, which can quickly return to the Devil's stronghold. But he has to go back to Area 8 first, and in Seo Ming Wang Bodhisattva's territory, his magic stone can't play a role. He was so anxious that he rolled quickly. But no matter how fast it is, it will take at least 4 days to return to Area 8. In terms of time, Lin Moyu passed by him, and now Lin Moyu has entered the number 8 area for nearly 5 days. Coupled with the time to return, it will be a whole day's time difference. This guy, where's the guts, where's the guts? Bastard, don't let me find you, I will tear you to pieces. The moment Lin Moyu entered the number 8 area, his whole body was shocked. He felt the difference. Areas 8 and 9 are like two worlds. The rules are almost the same, but there are many differences. Is it an illusion? Lin Moyu wasn't quite sure what he felt, but this sense of difference was obvious. And when he entered Area 8, the sense of peeping disappeared. He felt that it should have something to do with Little Ming King Bodhisattva, and he was even more wary of the mind and nature of this Bodhisattva who had reached the realm of Little Buddha. This Bodhisattva seems to be more terrifying than imagined. And the secret technique of the Buddha clan also made him feel unusual. It is not unusual for the Buddhists to be able to teach without discrimination in the cruel world. After Lin Moyu stepped into Area 8, he quickly released a large number of Death Knights. The Death Knights rode war horses, stepped on the yellow sand, and quickly scattered in all directions, because Lin Moyu was looking for the location of the Devil's stronghold. Here, the advantages of the Death Knight are brought into play again. Although they can't find flying ants also won't attack them. Flying ants are only interested in life, and have no interest in Death Knights, undead creatures full of life. The Death Knight is like entering the land of no one, unimpeded. In just 2 days, the Death Knight found the stronghold of the demons. This is a huge fortress. The fortress forms a square shape with a side length of 10,000 meters, which looks extraordinary. But in Lin Moyu's eyes, it was a mess. In terms of architecture, the human race does not know how many times stronger than the devil. Even in places like the army that only pay attention to practicality, the fortresses produced are far more beautiful than the demons. Not to mention that among the demon clan, stone demons belong to the category with not very bright minds. It is not bad to be able to build a fortress. Lin Moyu asked the Death Knight to observe from all directions, and quickly detected the situation in the fortress. Through the vision of the undead, it can be clearly seen that there are a total of 30 God King 9th level stone demons in the fortress, and there are no minor gods. This number is already quite a lot. After all, it is hard to believe that it is possible to become a god. With such a huge population base of the human race, the number of gods is not too much. The stone demon is just a branch of the demon clan, a branch of the hell system, and it is already invincible to be able to give birth to 2 or 3 gods. There are 30 God Kings and 9 ranks here, and after hundreds of years, there may not be a God King. Lin Moyu felt that his trip to the lowest desert was about to cut off the stone demon lineage. If these stone demons are also killed, from the 4th level of God King to the 9th level of God King, there will be a huge fault in the stone demons. I'm afraid it won't be slowed down for thousands of years. 30 God Kings rank 9, it seems that there is no enchantment. The Devil's Eye should exist, but it's not opened yet. Sneak attack won't work. If it's a strong attack, I might be able to kill them at full strength, but if they want to escape, there's nothing I can do about them. It is impossible for the Star Lich to trap so many stone demons of the 9th rank of the God King. Without the assistance of the Starlight Lich, the effect of the Flame Demon would be greatly weakened. There is only one Skeletron too. Only Lin Moyu can forcibly elevate his realm to the level of the little god, but the law cannot be improved, and his real combat power is not as good as the little god. And if the other party wants to escape, he really can't stop it. Moreover, the stone demons of the 9th level of the God King have a chance to recover, which means that each of them has 2 lives. After thinking for a while, Lin Moyu came up with an idea. Drive away wolves. Lure the flying ants over, use the flying ants to consume the power of the stone demon first, and do it yourself last. In this way, although it is also impossible to keep all the stone demons, at least a few more can be left. After making up their minds, the Death Knights began to act. They took 1,000 people as a team and were divided into a whole 1,000 teams. With the demon stronghold as the center, within a radius of 100,000 kilometers, they began to beat sand frantically. As long as you see a dune, hit it off. If there is a nest of flying ants in the dunes, the flying ants inside will come out to hunt down the Death Knight. The Death Knight will take the flying ants around, waiting for other teams to do it together. Standing beside Lin Moyu is a lich with a whole body of light, the Lightspeed Lich. His existence allowed the Death Knights to have the fastest speed in the lowest desert, enough to take flying ants for a stroll. Tens of thousands of teams opened up frontiers in the big yellow sand land and raised patches of sand dunes to the ground. Within a radius of 100,000 kilometers, there are countless sand dunes, and the number of flying ants hidden inside is also astonishing. The yellow sand of the dunes was blasted into the sky, flying in the strong wind. The yellow sand turned into a sandstorm, covering the sky and the sun, and the fireballs in the sky became dim. The whole world became hazy, with more and more yellow sand, like fog. The yellow sand all over the sky began to connect with each other and became denser and denser. It was like a giant sandstorm, covering a sandstorm with a radius of 100,000 kilometers. In the demon stronghold, the stone realms noticed this. At the same time, an idea popped up in my not very bright head: what a big sandstorm. Some of them have stayed here for hundreds of years, and some have stayed here for hundreds of years, and they rarely see sandstorms of this scale. But sandstorms are not uncommon in deep areas, so they just sighed. This sandstorm is really big, and there is no other movement. Not even the devil's eye was opened. The sandstorm became more and more violent, almost reaching the point where you can't see your fingers. But the stone demons didn't care about this. They stayed quietly in the sandstorm, and instead enjoyed the lore contained in the sandstorm. Buzzing sounds came from the sandstorm, and the stone demon wondered, why are there flying ants? What's so strange? Isn't it normal that there are flying ants in the sandstorm? They have dealt with flying ants countless times, and they are too familiar with the voice of flying ants. Also because they are too familiar, they don't care about flying ants. But then the hum grew more intense, and the whispers from the ears became deafening. There was the vibration of flying ants' wings in all directions, and they couldn't see how many flying ants there were in the sandstorm. It can only be judged from the sound that there are flying ants everywhere, and the number of flying ants is astonishingly large. Lin Moyu stood far away, opening the vision of the undead. In the grey-white world, clusters of soul fires are extremely clear. Most of them belonged to flying ants, and some were extremely bright and belonged to stone demons. Although the soul fires of the flying ants are not as bright as the stone demons, but there are too many, there are millions of them. A team of tens of thousands of Death Knights continuously bombarded the sand dunes, moving thousands of ant nests. There are thousands of flying ants in each ant nest, and together, the number of flying ants has reached as many as 1 million. Then the Death Knight took these flying ants and rushed towards the stone demon from all directions. With the help of the sandstorm that obscured the sky and the sun, the Death Knight and the flying ants rushed into the stronghold together. At this moment, when the stone demon reacted and wanted to open the barrier again, it was already too late. After Lin Moyu saw the last flying ant rushing into the stronghold, with a thought, all the Death Knights disappeared instantly. The flying ants suddenly lost their target and turned into headless flies. The 4-winged flying ants were spinning around in the air, waiting for the order of the 6-winged flying ants. Is to return to the ant nest or take other actions. The next second, the frostwing flying ants issued a new order, and they regarded the stone demon in the stronghold as a new target. The whole process is similar to what Lin Moyu thought. Stone goblins are stupid and slow to react. Flying ants act entirely on instinct. Their instinct is to destroy all life forms within the sensing range, and will also send messages to all objects that attack them. If the Death Knights don't take the initiative to attack them, they won't talk to the Death Knights at all. The stone demons are living beings, their soul fires are very strong, and their life breath is super strong. After the flying ants lost their target, they naturally shifted their target to the stone demon. In the yellow sand where everything is difficult to distinguish, the sight of flying ants is not affected, which occupies a great convenience. From the very beginning of the battle, the Shiwei were absolutely passive. 30 stone demons whose realm has reached the 9th rank of God King possess extremely strong combat effectiveness. Even if they face 30, 50, or even 100 group monsters at the same time, they will not be afraid. But now they are surrounded by 1,000 group monsters. Not to mention the thousands of 6-winged flying ants who are also 9th level god kings, there are also millions of 4-winged flying ants who are 8th level god kings. In terms of strength, it has completely crushed the stone demon. The sound of battle roared, and the interior of the fortress was beaten to collapse. Under the fierce and intensive attack of the flying ants, the stone demon's defense collapsed and its body was torn apart. Lin Moyu watched quietly from a distance. Everything that happened in the sandstorm was actually invisible. Through the vision of the undead, he watched the changes of the soul fire in the sandstorm, thus inferring the process of the battle. 30 groups of soul fire belonging to the stone demon are easy to identify. As long as the soul fire is extinguished, it means that the stone demon is dead. Soon, the first stone demon fell, and its soul fire was completely extinguished. However, even though more of the flying ants' soul fires were extinguished, the number of flying ants left was still astonishing, and there was no sign of a decrease at all. Lin Moyu knew very well that the golems were finished. Ask for flowers. They simply cannot survive under the indiscriminate bombardment of flying ants. Because of the existence of the sandstorm, they would not even have the chance to escape. This is a battle without suspense. In order to prevent the stone demon from escaping, Lin Moyu has a second arrangement. The Star Lich and the Fire Lich are ready to go. As long as they see someone fleeing, they will attack. The Skeleton King is also preparing at the side, including Lin Moyu himself, who can do it at any time. At the same time, the Death Knights are still active outside the sandstorm. They are still attacking the yellow sand and sending the big yellow sand into the sandstorm to increase the concentration of the sandstorm. Actually, monsters are the masters of the lowest desert, not you. Lin Moyu whispered. It seems that the demons have occupied an area, but when the monsters unite and fight together, the demons can't resist it at all. It doesn't even take many monsters, just a little. An area with a radius of 100,000 kilometers is an insignificant small area for the lowest desert. At this time Lin Moyu thought of Xiao Ming Wang Bodhisattva. Although the two did not meet each other officially, Xiao Ming Wang Bodhisattva gave Lin Moyu a different feeling. Especially the number 9 area where he is located has a special feeling. That feeling made Lin Moyu uneasy, which was one of the reasons why he didn't go to Xiao Ming Wang Bodhisattva. The battle lasted for more than half a day, and the stone demons finally all died under the siege of the flying ants. They didn't understand why these flying ant gold attacked themselves until the death. With their simple minds, they never imagined that the flying ants were attracted by someone. In this battle, 30 stone demons of the 9th rank of God Kings died cleanly, and even more flying ants died. Nearly 100 6-winged flying ants died, and more than 100,000 4-winged flying ants died. Every stone goblin has a chance to revive, so their endurance is far stronger than it appears on the surface. Too bad they still died. Flying ants rushed out of the sandstorm and returned to the fish one after another. After waiting for a long time, the sandstorm gradually fell, and everything returned to calm. Lin Moyu just entered the fort. Most of the fort was destroyed in the battle, with rubble everywhere and ruins. However, the fortress was not exquisite at first, and it was nothing more than that after it was broken. Some of the broken stones are real stones, and some are the corpses of stone goblins. They are mixed together and difficult to distinguish. Lin Moyu entered the fortress, stepped on the gravel, and waved a ball of undead flames. Flames shrouded an area. In this area, there were stone demon corpses and real stones. A stone demon quickly completed the rebirth of the body and the reorganization of the soul in the undead flame. In the blink of an eye, there was a tall stone monster prostrate on the ground in front of Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu asked, "Tell me about the situation here." The stone demon replied honestly in a dull and unpleasant voice, "About 900 years ago, we cleaned up all the flying ants in the vicinity and established a stronghold here. This stronghold is only 1,000,000 kilometers away from the nearest Huangsha Lake, so it can easily reach Huangsha Lake without being affected by Huangsha Lake." Lin Moyu frowned and stopped him from continuing. Stop. He realized he was asking the wrong question again. He asked the stone demon to talk about the situation here. His original intention was to let the stone demon tell how many people they have in the deep area, whether they are all here, or if there are any fish that slip through the net. In other words, they have several strongholds, and this is just one of them. Instead of asking him to introduce the past and present of this fortress and why it was built here. Of course, he also wanted to know this, but it was not the time yet. Lin Moyu thought about it, and changed the question, how many strongholds do you have in the deep area? The stone demon answered honestly, 1. There is only one stronghold, and that is here. Lin Moyu is slightly determined, so that even if there are fish that slip through the net, there will not be too many. Continue to the second question, how many people are there in the deep area? The stone demon replied honestly, 30. 31 of them, 30 were killed by flying ants, that is to say, there was still one fish that slipped through the net. Lin Moyu immediately asked, who is the person who was not killed by flying ants? The stone demon whispered, his name is Jin Hui, and he is our leader. Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat. The other party has a name. Based on Lin Moyu's understanding of the demon clan, ordinary demons are not worthy of names. They generally only have a nickname, or a simpler number. Even after reaching the God King realm, there is no name. Just like the Bat Demon who hunted and killed Lin Moyu before, he can be called the Bat God King, but he doesn't have a specific name. This is also the characteristic of the demon race. In the demon clan, only the truly strong, or those who have reached the level of gods, will have a name. As long as there is a demon with a name, it is very powerful. Needless to say, invincible in the same realm, 9 times out of 10, you can also fight across levels, or even across borders. Otherwise, how can you deserve to have a name? Lin Moyu felt vigilant. Jin Hui was the leader of the stone demon here, how could he leave so easily? Lin Moyu asked, tell me about Jin Hui in detail. It is very important to know yourself and the enemy. Lin Moyu needs to know all the information about Jin Hui in order to make corresponding arrangements. In the narration of the stone demon, he began to understand Jin Hui, and also knew that it was the special way of reproduction of the stone demon clan. In addition to the naturally born stone demons, there is also a special way of birth among stone demons, that is, a very strong existence splits itself and gives birth to offspring. There can be several clones, but only one offspring. The meaning of an heir is the same as that of the flesh and blood in the human race, and it is also the only son. Jin Hui is the heir of Lord Jinshi, and Lord Jinshi is an ancestor of the stone demon clan. The stone demon in front of him didn't know what the strength of Jinshi was. All he knew was that a long time ago, Jinshi was already the 9th rank of deity. Jin Hui inherited part of the characteristics of Jinshi, and possessed a secret method inherited by blood. Although he was only the 9th rank of god, he was no worse than the lesser god. And Jin Hui is very smart, far smarter than ordinary stone demons. This can also explain the origin of this fortress. There is also the trap originally aimed at Lin Moyu, which was also designed by Jin Hui. There are more than one traps, and they are all on the edge. Fortunately, Lin Moyu did not choose the edge area to enter the deep area, otherwise they would have known it when they entered. At that time, Lin Moyu will be forcibly teleported here, and will be besieged by the joint forces. This time Jin Hui left to see King Xiaoming Bodhisattva. Because Lin Moyu didn't fall into the trap, Jin Hui wanted to know Lin Moyu's whereabouts. But little Ming Wang Bodhisattva may be able to know. After listening, Lin Moyu slowly analyzed and thought. He sorted out the clear cause and effect of what the stone demon had said, deduced what happened before, and what he would most likely do after Jin Hui returned. Jin Hui has a combat strength comparable to that of a small god. If he fights with all his strength, without the supplement of soul power, the original magic can't last long. The Starlight Lich's phantasm might not be able to trap him. Flame Lich and Skeleton King are also hard to deal damage to him. The undead army is even worse. His existence seemed to have reached the limit of his combat power. The best way now is to avoid him. But Lin Moyu didn't want to let him go. Killing a Jin Hui is tantamount to breaking Jinshi's inheritance, and it will be very difficult for him to split off any more offspring. For the Stone Demon clan, this was a serious injury, even worse than killing 30 god kings at the 9th level. If Jin Hui is ignored, he will definitely become a god, and then there will be another powerful enemy for the human race. So from the bottom of his heart, Lin Moyu didn't want to let Jin Hui go. Now the question is how to kill him without letting him escape. After thinking for a while, a plan took shape in my mind. Immediately afterwards, Lin Moyu flicked his fingers, and clusters of undead flames shot out into the sky, and exploded in midair, blasting out a rain of fire, covering a small half of the fortress. In the undead flames, stone demons began to be reborn and became resurrected. Lin Moyu revived 15 stone golems, and then ordered them to gather the broken corpses of other stone golems and push them together. There are also crystal nuclei left behind after the death of flying ants, which are also collected. As for the fort, let it remain as it is today. The fortress is dilapidated, and it can be seen at a glance that it has experienced a war. After doing all this, Lin Moyu gathered the stone demons who had become resurgents together and told them what to do next. At the same time, Lin Moyu also asked some questions about boss-level monsters. None of these stone demons knew anything about this matter. They have come here for hundreds of years and nearly 100 years for short, but they don't know that there are other places beyond the deep region. But Lin Moyu has heard about Huangsha Lake many times from their mouths. Faintly, Lin Moyu felt that the Nether Swamp might be related to Huangsha Lake. It is also possible that Jin Hui will know more information. After half a day, Lin Moyu arranged everything, and the rest was waiting for Jin Hui to come back. You can kill me with a trap, and I will fight back with an eye. He backed out of the fort, moving away quickly. The Death Knight galloped out again, heading for Kebujang. In the 100,000-kilometer area centered on the fortress, where there are flying ants has been fully explored in the previous operation. The Death Knights came to the sand dunes with flying ants one after another, quietly waiting for orders. Lin Moyu waited for another day, when somewhere in the fortress, a faint light suddenly lit up. The dark green abyssal flames ignited ragingly, spreading outward like ripples. A tall figure appeared in the flames. When Jin Hui came back, as soon as he got back to the fortress, his eyes shrank sharply and changed color instantly.